You're all here because of a special reason, to learn how to build win-win interpersonal relationships, correct? So my first question to you is a true or false question. Is it true that in order to build meaningful win-win relationships with others, I need to know who I am first? True or false? So if you agree with me, that's what we're going to do tonight. Psychogeometrics is my pet topic because this tool changed my life. I share with you how. I experienced a total transformation personally, socially, and professionally after learning psychogeometrics. In fact, I was lost. I was a miserable failure the first half of my life. I had no ambition, no dreams, no skills, zero. I was directionless, I was friendless, I was penniless. Psychogeometrics changed all that. And it's only the second part of my life that I learned it, internalize it, and it became the tool of my success. Personally, I became a much more confident individual. I'm not afraid to be myself. I've learned that for others to love me, I must first love myself. It is not a selfish thing. It is an important thing to learn how to look at yourself and say, I like myself, I love myself, so that other people can also like and love us. It comes from inside out. I'm not afraid to be judged because I know I'm special. I know I'm unique. So tonight, I need to share all of you. You are special. You are unique because there's only one you on this planet. I'm comfortable in my own skin. And that is why we're going to learn tonight to be comfortable in your own skin because there's no duplicate in life. I'm able to adapt my communication language to build win-win relationships. We're going to learn to apply all these things by first looking yourself in the mirror first and then looking at other people, okay? Professionally, I've been conducting psychogeometrics courses and seminars since 1996. Started my career in training in 1996. So 28 years ago, I've been doing this. And I enjoy this a lot because thousands of people have learned my psychogeometrics. And some of them I've been coaching since the first day I've coached them until today, they're still following me. These are like marketing professionals, sales professionals, because my background was in sales. I'll tell you that part of my life later, okay? So tonight, I want to help you transform your life to be much higher and much better, starting with yourself. So let's rock and roll, okay? Let me first share with you the definition of psychogeometrics, okay? Psychogeometrics is the science of understanding people and the art of communicating with them. So it's both a science and an art. The science comes of the questionnaire that in the future, the next session, if you join us, I'll share with you 15 questions, just 15 questions. We'll find out about who you are, what you are, where you come from, and where you can go to. And then the art is the art of communication, okay? So the cardinal rule, the first rule we're going to learn tonight is number one, never judge people. So if you don't judge, then what do we do? Let me show you this one. You take your time to read this, okay? It's a little bit long. Read this story. I give you 2 minutes, all right? 2 minutes. So when we are parents and our children are young, right? We tend to talk down to them. We tend to judge them sometimes. Even people that we work with, right? We form impressions about them. So if you learn psychogeometrics, you learn, number one, not to judge people, but to learn to read people, okay? Reading people is the key to success so that we will never have to judge people anymore. Next, before we assume, learn the facts. Before we judge, understand why. And that is what empathy is all about. If you understand why people say things, do things, then we will understand why they say and do the things they do, say the things they say. Before you hurt someone, feel with them. Before you speak, think before we say something, because we cannot retract what we say after saying it. So always think before we speak, think before we do something. And that will be something that I will encourage all of us to do. The 5 shapes of psychogeometrics. Okay, psychogeometrics is psychology, is a study of human behavior. Geometrics deals with geometry. So we use shapes to understand people's behavior. And the 5 shapes I will show you, all right, on the screen. The 5 shapes are the square or the box, the rectangle, the triangle, the circle, and the squiggle. Okay, now I'm going to invite each of you to choose 2 shapes, okay, just 2 shapes besides the rectangle. Okay, so we leave the rectangle out. Choose either the box, the triangle, the circle, or the squiggle. And psychology says, psychogeometrics says that if you choose that particular shape, 60 to 70% that shape is you. The boxers will make the best partners in this world. Boxers are the most wealthy of all the 5 shapes. Boxers are people that we trust because they are trustworthy people. There are specialists, they are not generalists. Okay, this is where you write down, okay? Under the box, you write down the characteristic of the box. Number 1, the box makes the best spouse on this planet. When they get married, they normally will stick to the marriage because they believe in long-term, solid relationships. And boxers themselves are trustworthy people. Boxers, when they say, I'll come at 2 o'clock tomorrow, 2 o'clock, they will come because these are people whom we trust because they build up the trust one step at a time. Boxers are people who are also very reliable. Boxers are the richest because they are specialists, they are not generalists. Boxers' professions are engineers. They are doctors, specialist doctors. They are lawyers, specialist lawyers. So they specialize in one thing, they become specialists, that's why they are paid a lot of money for their speciality. They are not generalists, they're not general practitioner. They're normally like oncologists, specialized in one area or another. These are the boxers. Boxers are people that we build meaningful relationships with. Boxers are people who come 2 o'clock in the morning. If you need them, they'll fly down to help you. Boxers' weakness is they're very stubborn, okay? Very difficult to change the mind of the box because boxers, once they form impressions, it's very difficult to change. So if you want to change the thinking and the belief of the box, you must also be a box. Boxers go deep, boxers go far and wide. When you want to sell to a box, you need to do a lot of comparisons. Company A, company B, company C, the pros and cons of each company to help the box make their decision. Boxers normally will make these comparisons, and boxers will do all this research on their own. And boxers are people you don't try to bluff because you can never bluff a box. Boxers normally are good in what they do. They also, if they're interested in something, they'll go and find out a lot about that particular thing. If you're a box tonight, right, you probably would have read out about who John C. is. You probably would have read out about who Alex is. You probably would have read out something about psychogeometrics and what it is all about because boxers do their homework. Boxers are stubborn because once they form their impression, after all the hard work, they say, I don't want to go through all that again. So it's very difficult to change their minds. So if you want to convince a box, you go deep, you go far, you go wide, and you prove to the box that you know your stuff very, very well. This is how you convince a box. But do not step on the tail of the box because once the box don't like you, you step on the tail, the box will not trust you anymore, and it will take a long time to rebuild the relationship. All right? Box will not talk about divorce. Once they get married, they will talk about long-term relationship. But then again, never ever cheat on the box because once you cheat them once and that's it already, they are not that forgiving. Okay, boxers are not that forgiving. So once you step on their tails, they get hurt by you, they will take a long time to heal, all right? So boxers are people who are wealthy because they earn their wealth. They are specialists in what they do. They are people who are trustworthy. They are people who believe in long-term solid relationships. Boxers don't have many friends. You can count the number of friends in their hands, but they are solid friends. So they prefer to keep few friends, but solid friends, not those people who are the opposite, like the circle and the squiggles. They are the opposite of the box. The circle and squiggle got many friends. The box, few friends, but they are solid friends. Okay, my dear friends, you've learned the what, You've learned about the why, okay, about the box. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is the rectangle, okay.